Another episode of Beer Man's No Bull Beer Reviews. Today is a special review for me because I'm going to be reviewing a beer that was one of my OG whales. I wouldn't necessarily say that it was a whale at the time, but I thought it was when I first really started getting into craft beer. Even though Bell's distributed to Pittsburgh, this expedition back then, like 10 years ago, was not, it was seasonal like it is now, but I don't think very much of it made it to Pittsburgh. So I didn't trade for it, but the first time I found it, I was amazed because I had never seen it anywhere, and I was so excited to try it. And this was like in the probably like the Rate Beer Top 20 at that point in time. Now everything's, pastry stout, barrel aged, whatever, but back then, this was one of the best in the world, and in my opinion, it still is one of the best in the world. It just doesn't have all the bells and whistles like some of the other stuff that everyone's seeking out. So I don't think it really gets the love that it deserves. But I will say this beer is absolutely massive, and it is pretty hopped even for a stout. I like it fresh, but it is very abrasive, and I can't say that I can drink like a lot of it. These were meant to be like super in your face, crazy beers back then. And this is before they did a lot of barrel aging. So, this holds the test of time. It's still an amazing Imperial Stout, and but this one. The reason I specifically happen to have this bottle is because I was at a bottle shop in Asheville, and they had vintage bottles of this and Founder's Imperial Stout, which are both great Imperial. In my opinion, the two best Imperial Stouts to age. They're both really good fresh, but with a couple years on them, they're absolutely fantastic. So I'm hoping this isn't past its prime. It's a little older than I would let most stouts go, but I know that this beer can really, really hold up, so I'm hoping that it's good. I'm sure it'll be good, but I'm hoping that it's not showing too much signs. But it was a really trusted bottle shop, so I think they probably kept it in good condition, so I'm excited to try it. But I don't know if you can see from the label at the bottom there, but this is bottled on August 29th, 2013, so it's officially over 5 years old, just over 5 years old, as I'm doing this rating in September of 2018, so, but I guess, yeah, I didn't, you might have been able to see it, but I didn't really say what it is. So this is Founder's Imperial Stout, oh my gosh, sorry, I was talking about Founder's before. This is Bell's Expedition Stout. This is their big, giant OG Imperial Stout. This is not... I'm trying to think. This is the only Imperial Stout that they make yearly. I mean, they've done one-offs in like the anniversary series and all those, but this is the only one that they make yearly, and it is absolutely awesome. And it is 10.5 ABV, so I'm going to crack this open and see what we got. I'm pretty excited. Well, that was a good sign. It made a hiss. So, I'm hoping that means it wasn't too affected by... Oh, shoot. I just poured that all over the table. Darn it. I don't even need to have the name in there. I'm pretty sure most people know what this is. I also noticed, too, that I'm drinking this out of a Founder's snifter, which is kind of blasphemous, really, because these guys are definitely competitors, but it is what it is. This is one of the OG, like, super thick stouts. It is black as night, with a really nice, darker beige to tan head. The aroma on this is big, deep, dark roasted malts. There is a little bit of a smoky character I will say that I am picking up a little bit of oxidation, but it's only a small amount. Kind of like that cherry, like minty aroma. But there's definitely still a lot of smoke and like dark chocolate and really roasty, so I'm excited. It's crazy with this beer because, like I said, this is a really, in my opinion, a very hoppy stout. And I think when it's fresh, and it doesn't really have a hoppy taste, but it's very bitter. Some people don't like that. I like it. It's just I can't drink a lot of it. But there's kind of this fine line between letting that bitterness fade and then the oxidation starts kicking in, and you got to find somewhere that's in the middle there. And I think this is probably, I would say, so this is 5 years old. 4 years is probably like the optimal, and that's based on me having it at 4 years old before too. Because I am getting a little bit of oxidation in the taste too, but the bitterness and that slight ashy character that it has faded. So it is definitely smoother and less abrasive than it is fresh. But I honestly can't think of an Imperial Stout that I know doesn't have like a crazy high final gravity that's as thick as this thing is. I mean, this is definitely full body to the max, especially for old school standards. I'm still picking up some of those hops too, which is crazy. But so I will say the first taste I get is a little bit of the earthy hops. It is a little green. And then there's big, deep, dark, roasty malts. It's a little smoky, a little bit of dark chocolate. And then it finishes with like a very, very slight amount of oxidation. But again, that's just because it's 5 years old. But in my opinion, it is a perfect amount. I would say it's only the oxidation that you generally get from, some barrel aged beers already start showing oxidation when they're fresh, and that's or when they come out because they've already been maybe sitting in barrels for a year and a half. I would say that's the level of oxidation is in this. So it's not a lot. It's not pushing me away from drinking it, but to me it actually just makes it more nuanced because there's so many other things going on. It's just another depth of flavor. Yeah, and I will say all of their stouts are probably a little more bitter than most people are accustomed to nowadays, so that's why I don't think some people take to their stuff too well anymore. But to me, this is like a bigger version. Bell's 30th anniversary I thought was fantastic. I thought it was kind of a more sweet, less hoppy version of this. This, to me, is now reminding me of what that was fresh. Sans a little bit of oxidation, and they all do have like a little bit of like anise and black patent character. Like I said, they're a little ashy, but to me it comes off more as like smoky than ashy. But it's not anything that's turning me away from the beer. It's just another element in it that I'm picking out. And I mean, it's a big beer by the taste and the body alone. And there's something to be said for it being aged because it tastes. I'll admit it. It tastes boozy fresh, at least from my remembrance. It's been a while since I've had this fresh, because I know how good it is aged. So usually, anytime I have it, I try to get an aged bottle. But Uh, most beers, I say don't age their, especially barrel aged stuff. It's already aged, don't whatever. But this is one that definitely holds up to aging. I think it gets better. But I would say this 5 years is probably where I would cut it off. I wouldn't let it age any longer than this. But I'm at 5 years on anything that's not like a lambic and is just regular capped is asking a lot. So it's pretty impressive in my opinion. It's even held up as well as it has. But so the bottle shop I got this at was at Appalachian Vintner in Asheville, and they had this, and then they had 2014 Founders Imperial Stout. So I got a bottle of each to do a review of here because I know that they're great age, so I wanted to see how they how these particular bottles are holding up, and this is great. Like I said, I might get a couple more of these if I'm there soon. I don't think I would want it to go much past 5 years. But anyways, the other thing is this was $6. So, I mean, if you find this in any bottle shop, it's going to be $4 to $5, fresh. So, and I believe that they properly cellared this because it tastes really great, and that mild oxidation is something that's going to come out no matter how well you cellar it for how old it is. So for something that's that you don't have to age, that you don't have to worry about, you can get it pre-aged, and only spend like $1 or $2 markup. I think that's an absolutely fantastic price, and I will gladly go back and buy more of them. So this is definitely a buy for me. This, how old this is, I would buy more of this and drink the crap out of it. But fresh, it's absolutely always a buy too. It's one of those classics that I feel like everyone who loves pastry stouts and all that crap, like they need to go back and try this and realize where all this stuff came from, because this is one of the ones that really started it. Yeah, that's all I got on this guy. I can't wait to get more of it. It's really great. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.